Welcome to the Dutchman Wood Shack, where everything sawdust happens. I love the smell of sawdust first thing in the morning. Hey, what's going on? You like my intro? Anyway, wanted to show you what I'm real quickie what I'm doing. Okay, this is a glass that I turned a while ago. It was one of my first turnings. I didn't like. Let me back up a little bit here. When I was learning, I was learning different techniques, right? And I didn't have all the tools I got now. What did I have now? And so when I made this, it had a few flaws in it. I thought it was okay. So I go, over the years, I think I made this like 3-4 years. I don't know. I made this a while ago. Well, probably 3 years ago. Well, I've had this thing since 2016. So anyway, I got to the point where, I could fix this up, maybe sell it. So I want to say it's spalted maple. It got that look in it, but you can see there's a little bit of stuff here, and I'm sanding it right now as I speak. But I wanted to show you. It had a lot of dimples in it. Some of it you can't really. With the problem with turning, even if you go slow, you're still tearing it. So when you're going around and you get a little dimple like that, part of the problem is it is pulling the wood out. It keeps adding to it. So the idea is, since the grain is this way, is that under finish sanding it is to go this way with it, right? So what you do, instead of going this way in a high RPM, you go like this. See? And usually if you don't, even if you have a hand sander or palm sander, it works, right? I'm using, this is 150 grit. Now that just me sanding it by hand a little bit works really good. But there's a problem. You got to be careful how much you sand it. You don't want to dip, because what will happen is if you sand one spot too much, you'll have a dip. So the idea is you do it all the way around. You focus more on this, but you take a look at it, you scrutinize it. That's why I got that light over there. I can take it off, look at it sideways, see what my imperfections are. Well, that's the idea, right? Supposedly. Now, if it's a little dip, it's not that big a deal, But, especially up here, you want to make sure that you get all your divots out. Divots. It sounds like I'm golfing, doesn't it? Woodworking golf. Okay, so I wanted to show you something. You see how much sawdust I'm putting out, right? Watch this. Super sucker. Okay. As you can see, it was pulling it in, right? So typically what you want, this is like a 2-inch, 1.75 inch, 2-inch hose, right? So what you typically want is probably a 4-inch. Now the problem with the 4-inch, all right, trying to find pieces that fit, you can have all these hoses. This is a little bit more flexible. Does it suck it? Yeah, it's good enough for me. What you want actually is a box. You want to put a box on there. So I have yet to design one. My whole thing in the beginning was making a platform around my stand down at the bottom here. Because see, this is what happens to my sawdust. See, so I'm probably going to take and raise it up off the baseboard there, and then have it go where this whole thing is covered with wood, and then all that sawdust. And in fact, I might just jack it up enough to bring it to where it comes down this way, and I can suck it up easier. You know what I mean? Suck up. I don't know. I've been doing this for a long time, and it's like no matter what I do, this thing puts out a lot of sawdust. If I'm doing Christmas stuff, I can have sawdust that's probably that deep, at least a foot deep. And you want to be aware of that because you could, especially where I'm at, you don't want to have a boom boom happen to you. It's the last thing. And I'm an ex-fireman, so there you go. That would be kind of embarrassing once. But, and the other thing was with me, all right, is that I walk back and forth to the train room, which is the other end over here, and I got carpet in there. I'm trying to keep it clean, so. All right, so anyway, so I've got this all sanded down. I use 150 on it, but I want to probably I don't think I want to go any further than probably 2 something. And this is 240, right? Now, I love getting this thing. All right, see, this stuff right here is awesome. It'll tell you on the grits. You should get them through here, but they never stay in there, but it tells you the grits. And I love this. I use this all the time. You can buy this on Amazon. None of the woodworking stores will have it. See, this is the other problem. Trying to get equipment that'll work for you. Boy, you know what I mean? It's just kind of, all right. So I'm going to go over this. First off, I'm going to turn the beast on. Supersonic. About where I want it, right? So now the issue is, okay, so now what I want to do on the inside of this, you see how thick that is? So what I want to do with this is just taper this, but I can't do that because guess what? I don't have the chuck on there. Where's the chuck? Where's the chuck? Okay, but see this wood grain. I don't know if you guys can see the grain. I know my lighting sucks in here. You see that line there? That's pretty prevalent in there. That's pretty cool, right? That's pretty neat. Now, here's the divot I was telling you about. That one right there. You see it? Right there? That one's not a big deal. All right, it's not very deep. Now, if you're worried about it, and see, this is why I'm telling you, tearing it and going around counterclockwise doesn't help. It's always better to just do that divot this way And you can. You just got to be careful you don't take too much and make the rest of it look, kind of funky looking. Funky, dude. So I don't know whether I'm going to stain this or not. See, that's the thing. I don't know whether I'm going to stain this or not because the way the wood looks. You know what? I'm going to turn this off for a second. I don't know if it will. Anyway, the way this wood looks. I don't even know if this is what this is. What this is. See, if I want to keep that the same way, so all I want to do is do this. Now, how did I carve that hole out of there? I actually took a drill bit, a paddle bit. I think it was 3/4 inch something or 1 inch drill bit, and drilled through this. That was before I got this part that goes on here, the chuck. Okay, so the chuck that I have in there, you can see it. It goes in here. So what you do is you put this in here like this with the chuck, the other chuck. That's the drill press chuck, and you could push this in like this, and that's how you get that reamed out. It's kind of tricky when you're doing it like this. I don't have the device yet that goes around here when there's long stuff, and there's long stock. There's like a tripod thing that goes on there. So what I end up doing is basically doing it that way, but I have to have the chuck in here first. And it works. If you put this on the chuck now and try to clean that out, you see how far it's sticking out? That's not a good idea. That's not a good idea. So now I'm probably just going to leave it. I don't know. Anyway, I wanted to try and clean this out a little bit more because it is a little thick, right? So what I'll probably do, I don't know if I will or not. I don't know. What do you guys think? You think I should make that any skinnier or just leave it the way it is? I want to stain it, but I don't know what kind of stain I would have put on there. Oh, the other thing is too, I can stick a sanding drum in there. I have a couple of them, but you got to be really careful with that too because it's easy to ream it out real fast and make everything's uneven, and then you'll be up the creek. See? Anyway, don't know what color. See, I'd love to leave this color, but the problem is everything you put on it, it changes color-wise. See? I think this is spalted maple. I'm not sure. If anybody's got an idea, leave me a message. I always like this color of the knot. And people go, is that a water stain there? And I said, no, that's the grain. Because you're going this way on the grain. This is where I don't like buttering up any of my stuff. All right, I got one over here. For instance, I'll put this right here. This one here is different. It's kind of a blasé grain. All right, now, again, when you're spinning, you're making marks. And even with your tools being sharp, you're going to make marks. So when you sand it, I take it off and I sand it this way. All right, and it works. It gets everything off. But I usually use a orbital, not an orbital sander, but a palm sander. Because I use an orbital sander to remove rings. That's the one thing people understand. There's several different kinds of sanders, and there's certain ones you use for one thing and certain ones you use for other. Like I could use a belt sander, but I don't. But anyway, that's this one. So I got to take that off anyway. So. And this is where I wish I had two of these things. Unfortunately, I don't. If I had two, then I could have two going at ready to go. Okay, so that's what you call a mortise. So you carve that in. I usually put it between an eighth and a quarter, but a quarter actually does two 3/16 makes a big difference. If you were going to do a tenon, so the mortise hits on the outside, the tenon fits on the inside. So, and that's what this does. So you put it on here, right? The problem is with this, it doesn't work because it's too small to fit in there. So I have to change the teeth. And I don't want to do that. I'm kind of dicey with doing that until I get that other device because it keeps it from wobbling. It would put a lot of pressure on it. You could break it. So, and I'm not sure what I want to do with this yet. I haven't got a clue. So, okay, so now this one. Here's another problem child. This one here, because it's got a groove in it. I love the walnut. I have to sand this all down, but I love the walnut, but here's my problem. I'm trying to get in here and get in here. So, again, this is the part where the log is like this. All right, you're sitting there, the grain goes this way, right? What happens is end grain has a tendency to do burrs. And even if your tools are sharp, you'll get this. See, now I'm working on this, and I have to get devices to figure out how to sand this because it's curved. The one thing you don't want to use is some of those sanding discs you can put on your drill press or a grinder, hand grinder, that is square. You want something that's curved. So this is where you got to be in creative. Okay, so oops. What I have come up with, it's about the closest I can get. Okay, and all this is I got this at Hobby Lobby. I got a bunch of them, all right. But I like them because I can stick my sticky stuff on there, right? Works great. I had a steel rod. You could get a bolt, use a bolt, cut the head off of it, if you want, whatever. I got enough junk laying around here. I could do anything with it. But like, okay, so I love using this stuff. All right, these are stick'ems. But do you use that cutoff piece? In there. This is just a hair off, size-wise, just a hair. So if I take this off, you see there's a gap in there. See that gap? So technically, I should take this and sand it down to fit. Well, I got another one, so I'm not going to do that. But the idea is you want to be able to get your sanders in there. Okay, so now here's the problem. Another problem. Okay, that chuck I showed you, I could put it on the chuck with the fans going, but it's not big enough. I've got the extender, but it's not big enough because my limitations on my lathe. There are contraptions you can buy to make it fit, but unfortunately, mine's a little bit shy too short. So this again, you go back to looking for stuff, and if you go to Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever chain store, Ace, you can't find anything in sanding. It's all the same crap. In fact, they've gone away from 320, and I think 280 is the most they get. Every time I go to a Lowe's, you can't find sandpaper. So, okay, so again, in the world of woodworking, I gotta put this over here. Is before you start a project, make sure you got the proper equipment. Number one. Before you start any project, don't even get your wood, make sure you got the proper equipment. Number two, what kind of wood will you be using? Number three, this is before you buy it. I always go to the store. I'll go to the store where if I'm going to buy wood, I've got a bunch in here. I'll check out what kind of wood I want to use, what I'm going to build, build for somebody. Cabinets is a good example. A lot of people don't like a lot of grain in cabinets. So it's kind of like a piece of pine, okay? Like this piece of pine. Well, this one's a bad example, but all the grain is really tight and it's soft and it's clear, right? It's just white. A typical pine. Now, if you want, this got a lot of grain on it this way. But here's the point. If you're building cabinets, usually people use birch or maple or something that doesn't have a lot of grain in it because they always either paint it white. Poplar, you can use poplar if you're going to paint it white. Now, if you're going to want to make a table or, a coffee table or a picnic table or something, you could use green wood. Now, when you're building, like small pieces of stuff like I have, I like to use red oak or white oak. I've kind of used both combinations, and I made a hallway table last year that was made out of red and white oak, and it turned out great. Kind of like a surfboardish thing. And I was just playing with the design. I came up with something. I go, I could do this. I saw something in a magazine, and I go, I'm going to copy this, but I put my old alterations in it. So, and if I build another one, I came across another idea that would be even better for the legs. I turned the legs myself. I have fun doing this. If somebody wants to buy them, fine. If they don't, fine. I usually give them away for gifts if I don't have the room. I used to make a lot of furniture with the guys. I used to make, when I was working on houses, I'd make all the cabinets, and I love it. But you have to know your wood. You have to know what you're going to use. The biggest problem people have is you don't have the right blades on the saw, so you chip the edge. You don't have the right wood because when you go to whatever stain you put on, it doesn't come out the right way, whether it's paint stain or stain itself or just clear. So the knowledge that you get before you do a project, you sit down and look at it. There are a lot of magazines, a lot of stuff here online, and a lot of people will tell you. Just make sure you back your butt up, CYA, as I call it, before you do your project. It's kind of like that. Measure twice, cut once theory. I've done that enough time. Now, I always use that theory when I'm doing crown molding. That is a booger because now you're doing compound miter joints. So, anyway, I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to go work in the train world now. And if you guys are interested in this, let me know. I mean, I could stain it. Just let me know what you guys think. Should I stain this? Should I stain it? Should I stain it? Or should I just leave it the way it is? I could probably put a sealer on it, and that would be good. I've got sanding sealer. And sanding sealer doesn't even change it, actually. And I don't know if I'm going to carve the inside of that. I don't have that device that I need for stabilization. So, oh yeah, just so you know, I'm working on something else too. All right, here's my lookout tower. Here's my forestry lookout tower that goes on my train. Right now, I'm in the process of trying to make it look like it's something. I have stickers I'm gonna have to put on there, and I've got to put glass in there. The idea is I want to put a light in here, and I want to have people in it. But I'm working on. I'm trying to. It's kind of, and this is what I'm saying. You got to use your imagination because there is no lookout tower for N gauge. So I just made it out of some wood I had. So that's what I'm doing next, baby. So look for Jeff's Train World, HON or NHO and O gauge. And I want to thank you all guys for watching me. Again, it's Monday, it's Labor Day. Enjoy yourself. Have your favorite beverage and your dinner tonight. Just be safe. And I gotta throw a shout out to my friends in the Forest Service, Angeles National Forest, Crew 6, Crew 3. I don't know what they're doing. All the guys there, they're great, and I hope they have somewhat of a easy day today and not running around putting out stupid people's fires. God bless, and remember, if you're not making sawdust, you're not being creative. So get with the program. See ya.